Welcome to Zoe Stories. Experimented, and I became a girl. Sunlight poured through the windows, flooding the room with a gentle summer warmth. As I leafed through a science magazine at the kitchen table, my mother, Dr. Anna Parker, moved about the kitchen with her characteristic precision and purpose. She was always like that, sharp, focused, and unwaveringly dedicated to her work. Today, however, she seemed more lively than usual. "Joss, could you come here for a second?" She called out, her voice brimming with excitement. Setting the magazine aside, I walked over, intrigued by her unusual excitement. "What's going on, Mom?" I asked. She beamed, a rare, genuine smile lighting up her eyes. "This summer, you have the chance to assist me with a revolutionary experiment. How does that sound?" My heart skipped a beat at the thought of assisting my mom with her research. It was a dream come true. Since I could remember, I had been captivated by her groundbreaking work in genetics and hormonal research. "Really? What kind of experiment?" I asked eagerly as she gestured for me to take a seat and join me at the table. "We're embarking on a project to reverse aging, utilizing a blend of genetic manipulation and hormonal treatments. It's cutting-edge stuff, and having a dedicated assistant like you would be invaluable," she explained, her excitement infectious. "Mom, what exactly do you need me to do?" I asked, eager yet cautious. She took a moment, her tone shifting to a more serious note. "We've reached a critical stage where we need a human subject to closely observe the effects. It'll be in a controlled environment, and I'll be meticulously monitoring everything," she explained. "I was hoping you'd be willing to participate." Her words sank in, carrying a weight of responsibility. Despite any apprehension, the opportunity to collaborate with my mother on such a meaningful endeavor was too enticing to resist. "I'm eager to assist, Mom. What's the plan?" I inquired with enthusiasm. Her smile widened, a blend of pride and relief crossing her features. "Excellent. We'll start with a series of injections and closely monitor your progress. Trust me, it's completely safe." In the following days, preparations unfolded swiftly, like a whirlwind of anticipation. My mother meticulously outlined the procedure, and after signing the necessary consent forms, I felt a mixture of nerves and excitement. Monday morning arrived for the first injection, and under my mother's expert hand, I barely felt the needle as the serum was administered. Initially, everything appeared unchanged as I continued with my regular routine, assisting in the experiment and enjoying time with friends. However, after a week, I started to detect subtle shifts. My skin felt noticeably softer and smoother, and the coarse stubble that typically greeted me each morning grew thinner and less frequent. I attributed these changes to the stress of the experiment and assumed it might be the onset of puberty. As I neared my 17th year, changes were inevitable. By the second week, these transformations became more apparent. My facial features softened, and my voice gradually lost its deep tone. Most strikingly, my once short and manageable hair began to grow rapidly, extending past my shoulders and even surpassing my sister's hair in length. "Mom, is this supposed to be happening?" I asked one evening, noticing how my fingers easily glided through my increasingly silky hair. Her concerned gaze softened as she studied me intently. "It's not typical, but it's nothing to be overly worried about. We'll continue to watch closely," she assured me. However, the changes didn't cease there. My body hair gradually thinned out, leaving my skin smooth and hairless. Physically, my form started to shift, becoming more slender and curvaceous. My hips widened, my waist became more defined, and my chest began to swell subtly. Anxiety began to creep in as these transformations unfolded before me. "I can't ignore this anymore, Mom. Something's not right," I said, my voice now higher than it had ever been before. Dr. Parker, my mom, stared at me with a mix of shock and realization. "We have to stop the experiment immediately," she insisted. Despite her efforts to reverse the changes, it soon became evident that my transformation was irreversible. The serum had fundamentally altered my genetic structure. I was no longer the Joss I had been just a few weeks ago. As I gazed into the mirror, I struggled to recognize the person staring back. My once sharp, angular features had softened into a more feminine visage, and my broad shoulders had slimmed down considerably. My waist had become slimmer, and my hair cascaded down my back in glossy waves. A surge of panic and fear washed over me. This transformation wasn't supposed to happen. How could I live like this? Joss, we'll figure this out, Mom said, her voice steady but tinged with worry. We'll get through this together. Tears began to well up in my eyes. Mom, I don't know who I am anymore. How can I live like this? I cried. She pulled me into a tight hug, her embrace warm and reassuring. Joss, I know this is overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. Maybe it's time to embrace this change and see where it takes you. You're not losing yourself, you're evolving. We can find a way to make this work. Her words echoed in my mind, stirring something deep within me. A long-buried memory surfaced, one I had kept hidden for years. I remembered sneaking into my sister Emma's room when no one was home, trying on her clothes. The feel of soft fabrics against my skin came rushing back to me. The thrill of seeing myself in the mirror, dressed so differently, had always felt right, even though I never dared to share it with anyone. As the memory replayed in my mind, I realized a part of me had always been drawn to this side of myself. Perhaps this transformation wasn't just an accident. Maybe it was an opportunity to explore something deeper. I had always wanted this, but never had the courage to embrace it. Taking a deep breath, I looked at Mom with newfound determination. I think you're right. Maybe it's time to accept this and see where it takes me. I'm here for you, Joss. I think it's time we gave you a new name that reflects this change. How about Rachel? The name felt right, like a key unlocking a new part of my identity. Rachel, I repeated, testing it on my tongue. Yes, I like that. Mom squeezed my hand, her smile warm and encouraging. Then Rachel it is, and we'll figure this out together, Mom said. That evening, I told Emma about my decision. She listened intently, her eyes wide with surprise, but also a spark of excitement. Rachel, huh? I think it suits you, she said with a grin. Thanks, Emma. I'm still figuring things out, but I could really use your help, I replied. Emma's grin widened. You're in luck. I've always wanted a little sister to dress up. Let's start with some basics. Tomorrow, we're going shopping. The next day, we hit the mall, Emma leading the way with infectious enthusiasm. We browsed through racks of clothes, picking out outfits that caught our eye. Emma thought these clothes would suit my new identity. I felt a mix of embarrassment and excitement as I tried on dresses, skirts, and blouses, each piece transforming me a little more into Rachel. Emma's expertise in makeup and fashion was invaluable. She taught me how to apply foundation, blush, and mascara, turning my face into a canvas for self-expression. At first, the process felt awkward, my hands fumbling with the makeup brushes as if I were playing dress-up. But under Emma's patient guidance, I began to get the hang of it. Just a little more blush here, she said gently, applying the rosy powder to my cheeks, and some lip gloss to finish the look. There, you look beautiful, Rachel. I gazed at my reflection in the mirror, hardly recognizing the confident, radiant, and undeniably feminine Rachel staring back at me. A small, genuine smile crept onto my lips. Thanks, Emma. I feel different, but in a good way, I said softly. Emma hugged me tightly. You're doing great, Rachel. Just remember, this is about finding what makes you happy. Don't be afraid to explore and enjoy the journey. Over the next few weeks, Emma continued to be my guide in the world of fashion and feminine grace. She patiently taught me how to walk confidently in heels, how to carry myself with grace, and how to discover my personal style. The initial embarrassment gradually faded, replaced by a growing sense of joy and self-acceptance. One evening, as we experimented with different outfits, Emma looked at me with a proud smile and said, "Rachel, you've come a long way. I'm really proud of you for embracing this side of yourself," Emma said with a warm smile. I smiled back, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. "Thanks, Emma. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm starting to feel like this is who I was meant to be all along." Emma hugged me tightly, her happiness evident in her embrace. "I'm so glad to hear that, Rachel. You're amazing," Emma said warmly. Just then, Mom walked into the room, her expression a mix of excitement and something else I couldn't quite place. "Rachel, can we talk for a moment?" she asked. I nodded, feeling a bit apprehensive. Emma gave me a reassuring pat on the back as Mom began to speak. I followed Mom into the living room, where she gestured for me to sit down. I watched her carefully as she began to speak. "Rachel, we've made some progress with the experiment," she started, her voice steady but her eyes searching mine. "We think we found a way to reverse the changes if you want to go back to being Joss. We can make it happen," Mom said, her words sinking in as I sat there, stunned. I contemplated the possibility of going back to my old life, to being Joss. For a moment, the thought was tempting. Life as Joss had been simpler, more familiar. But then, I reflected on everything that had transpired over the past few weeks, the warmth, acceptance. I felt the support from Emma and Mom as Rachel. The joy of discovering this new side of myself. Mom continued, her eyes softening as she looked at me. "But Rachel, I've also seen how happy you've become," she said gently. "You seem more comfortable, more confident. Whatever you decide, I want you to know that I support you completely." I took a deep breath, glancing down at my hands before meeting Mum's gaze. "Mum, this journey has been confusing and scary, but also liberating," I began. "I've never felt more like myself than I do now. I don't want to go back to being Joss. I want to stay as Rachel." A smile spread across Mum's face, her eyes filling with tears of joy. "Oh, Rachel, I'm so proud of you for being true to yourself. You have no idea how happy this makes me," Mum explained, leaning in to hug me tightly. Her warmth and support enveloped me, comforting and reassuring. When she finally pulled back, there was a playful glint in her eye. "Looks like I have 2 daughters now," she chuckled. "This is going to be an adventure for all of us." I laughed, feeling a lightness in my heart. "I guess it is, Mom. I guess it is." That evening, we all sat together, celebrating this new chapter in our lives. Emma and Mom were brimming with ideas about the future, shopping trips, makeup tutorials, and everything in between. Their excitement was contagious, and I found myself eagerly anticipating the days ahead, filled with possibilities. We talked and laughed, and amidst it all, I felt a profound sense of belonging. I had finally found my place, my true self, surrounded by love and acceptance. Being Rachel wasn't just about the changes in my appearance, it was about embracing who I was meant to be. Mom looked at me with pride shining in her eyes. "Rachel, you're going to do great things." "I know it," Emma nodded, her eyes shining brightly. "And I'll be with you every step of the way." I smiled, feeling a warmth spread through me. "Thanks, both of you. I couldn't ask for a better family." Mom leaned back, a satisfied smile gracing her face. "Well, Rachel, now that you've made your decision, we have a lot to prepare for. This is just the beginning of your journey. And we'll make sure you're ready for everything that comes your way." Emma grinned, her excitement palpable. "First things first, we need to get you a proper wardrobe. And I don't mean just a few outfits. We're talking about building a whole collection for you. Fashion is all about expressing who you are, and now we can really dive into it." Mom nodded in agreement. "And not just clothes. We need to make sure we have all the tools and products to take care of your skin, your hair, everything. This is going to be fun, Rachel." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Mom and Emma seized every opportunity to take me shopping, guiding me through the maze of fashion and beauty. We explored boutique stores, department stores, and even ventured into vintage shops, discovering pieces that made me feel confident and beautiful. One afternoon, we found ourselves in a high-end lingerie store. I felt a mix of excitement and embarrassment as we perused the delicate fabrics and intricate designs. "Mom, Emma, this is a lot," I said, blushing slightly as I held up a lace bra. Emma chuckled, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Oh, Rachel, you'll get used to it. Lingerie is an important part of your wardrobe. It's about feeling good in your own skin." Mom nodded, her smile warm. "It's about feeling confident and comfortable with who you are. Now, let's find you something special." We spent the afternoon trying on different lingerie sets, searching for pieces that made me feel elegant and empowered. By the time we left the store, I felt like I had taken another significant step in embracing my new identity. Back at home, Emma continued to be my mentor in makeup and fashion. She patiently taught me how to experiment with different styles. Helping me discover my unique look, Emma guided me through various fashion choices, while Mom emphasized the significance of self-care, from skincare routines to hair care tips. One evening, as we sat together in the living room, Mom regarded me with a thoughtful expression. "Rachel, there's something else we need to discuss. This journey is about more than just appearance. It's about finding your voice and your confidence. You're stepping into a new world, and I want you to feel empowered in every aspect of your life." I nodded, a mixture of gratitude and determination coursing through me. "I understand, Mom. I want to embrace all of this, not just the outward changes." Mom smiled, her eyes shining with pride. "That's my girl. We'll work on it together. Confidence comes from within, and you have so much potential." Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.